places in the world people run out to the streets, kneel down and take pictures of the building.
Everybody's up in here.
Windows open in Memorial. That area up there is normally blocked off.
Thanks for coming.
My name is John Kellen, and I'm glad to see you all here today. I've got a few very brief remarks. The writer Ambrose Bierce once rather playfully defined truth as an ingenious compound of desirability and appearance. I think that's also a fitting description of the government's account and most media accounts of President Kennedy's assassination. This is the 45th time that citizens from this city and state and from around the country and around the world have come to this plaza to remember John F. Kennedy on the anniversary of his death. About 200 people were here to remember President Kennedy in 1964 on the occasion of the first anniversary. Among them was an Oklahoma woman named Shirley Martin. Mrs. Martin was a great admirer of JFK's. She said it was hard for her to be here, but when the president died, she felt it was her, to be where the president died, but she felt it was her obligation. She also felt an obligation to find out who really killed her president. Shirley Martin was among a handful of Americans who read not just the Warren Report, but also the Warren Commission's 26 volumes of supporting evidence, all in an effort to learn the truth. In that endeavor, Mrs. Martin was in a tiny minority. But like those of us gathered here today, she was in the majority of Americans who have never accepted that one lone nut shot and killed John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Government accounts of JFK's assassination have all been ingenious compounds of desirability and appearance, but they have not been the truth. We know the truth is much more terrible. Thank you.
Thank you, John. My name is Dick Russell. I come here from Boston today. I'm the author of 2 books on the Kennedy assassination. I remember I first visited here, I think it was in the 1970s, and I'll never forget the feeling of what it was like being on the grassy knoll. It was night, and there was a presence. There was something that had happened in this area that was just deeply felt, and it's great to see how many people are coming here today. I bring you greetings from Jesse Ventura. He was the governor of Minnesota. He was here 5 years ago for the 40th anniversary. He was the only public official in America who was willing to come here and speak about how he felt. I wonder where all our public officials are today. Jesse Ventura wanted to be here today again, but he has an illness in his family and couldn't make it. Just briefly, President Kennedy, the reason I admire him so much was because he was a man who was willing to grow and change in office. He took this country from the brink of what could have been an event where none of us would be here today, an apocalyptic missile crisis over Cuba, and was willing to make an accommodation with Cuba and with the Soviet Union at the time that would have changed the world. He was going to pull us out of Vietnam. His brother, Robert Kennedy, was maybe too compassionate a leader to run this country. They were all cut down, the 2 Kennedys, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I don't believe any of them were cut down and eliminated by single lone nut assassins. There was a takeover of this country in the 1960s. We've never really recovered from it. We have a new opportunity today, perhaps, with the election of Barack Obama, and I pray that he's protected in a way that they were unable to do in the 1960s. So again, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm happy to be here with you, and I pass this now to Randy Owen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dick. My name is Randy Owen. I'm the MC for the conference this year with Lancer. A little bit of background about me, and I'll make it very brief. I'm a Canadian broadcaster, and I have this message for all of you here. This is a sure sign that American democracy It might have been bruised and battered over the years, but because the fact that you are here to commemorate this event shows that democracy does work. You are a beacon to the rest of the world. The event that happened here, although you might think it was an American tragedy, it was a tragedy for the entire world. And that's all I wanted to get across, and I think the main part of what I wanted to say. To further emphasize the point that this was indeed an international tragedy, our next speaker is the author of a book called No Case to Answer, a detailed look at the investigation that was done back in the 1963 period and 64 by the Dallas police. Would you please make welcome all the way from the United Kingdom, Mr. Ian Griggs.
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of dragged up here, and I'm always told you're the international one, so you tell us how it affects the rest of the world. I'm in a small group, we're travelling together. I'm from London, England. We have an Italian, a Canadian with us, who's got a Dutch name. We have a Frenchman with us, and we've even got some Oklahomans with us. So we are multi-international, and we're very proud to be here. Let's get away from the frivolity. Randy and also even John Judge said that this was an international incident. He was your president. He wasn't my president, but he was our leader. He was the leader of the free world. You all know this. And when that event happened here, in this place, on the 22nd of November 1963, the world changed. Not just America, the whole world changed. It's not fully got back to normal yet, you know that. I'm a researcher, I'm seeking the truth of what happened here in this place at that time. We're getting there. I'm convinced there was a conspiracy. I can't prove it, none of us can, but we will. I'm proud to be the founder of a research group in the United Kingdom called Dealey Plaza, UK. We're 12 years old. We've grown from a bunch of guys talking about this incident in a pub. We're now international, we have members all over the world. We have our own seminar every year, which is like a mini version of JFK Lancer's annual conference. So please don't think this is just an isolated event that happened in this country and you're the only people interested in it and worried about it. That worry and interest spreads all over the world, and it always will. And I'll keep coming back to this place, despite the rocketing airfares, as often as I possibly can, and hope to be part of the group, whatever they may be, that finally solves this thing. I'm delighted to see you all here. It's a good turnout, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Now tell us a bit about Dealey Plaza here. How did your namesake come? Was he a founding member or something of the city?
He was a city leader and of course the founder of the newspaper. He was very much involved with civic improvement, including the idea of having a park as an entrance to Dallas, which is what Dealey Plaza was designed to be.
Right.
It was dug out in 1934.
Okay, it's all dug out in 34. So before, what was here? Just a
there was two buildings. There was a road here by the name of Broadway, and there was another Water Street. The river used to be just the other side of what's the Triple Underpass today.
Okay.
And there were normal businesses here, a number of buildings, 2 blocks of buildings that were torn down, and the plaza dug out.
Right. Now these monuments here, what are they? Were they designed for a specific rationale or reason?
All
the architecture
were pretty much put up in 34 through 36.
So it's Art Deco?
Art Deco was created for the Texas Centennial, actually, because we celebrated the Texas Centennial here in Dallas at Fair Park, Centennial Exhibition, and this was all put up in that date. This is the John Neely Bryan pergola, is the name of this one. It's because John Neely Bryan, the founder of Dallas in 1841, actually had his cabin in this area.
Oh, really?
Right here, about where we're standing here at the Zapruder pedestal. And the other one is the Cockrell pergola.
And what would have been quite rural here? I mean, it was that
right. I mean, when he first founded it, I mean, the river was just on the other side of what's the Triple Underpass today. And it was basically it had a good river crossing. That was the whole reason Dallas was founded. Is because there's Austin chalk, limestone formations in the ground, or chalk formations that makes it firm footing for crossing the Trinity River.
Okay. The predominant slope, it's quite an angle sloping down here, leading to the triple underpass. Was it dug that way?
Yes,
or was
it
that
was
the
dug
natural?
out. We're standing at the natural slope. Elm Street and Commerce Street extensions are the natural extensions of the plaza, and natural slope of the plaza. But this was all dug out. The railroad was actually here starting in 1872, and they just dug under. So the proper word is triple underpass, not triple overpass, because they actually tunneled under the railroad and left the railroad where it was. The Dealey Plaza is pretty much symmetrical.
Right.
And so they assume that since there was a storm drain up on the north side on the railroad, that there was one on the south side. But we have overhead pictures in 62 and 64. There is no sewer.
Right.
The City of Dallas records show no sewer.
Right.
Look at the angle. Come over here and record from here. You couldn't line it up. You might be able to push a gun out, rifle out of the sewer in front of you and shoot. If you're lucky. Or use a 90-degree scope, around the corner scope, if there is such a thing, and then you'd be trapped in there the rest of the day.
So that's all from, From here now approaching, so you think roughly, is it about?
If Badge Man was here, it would have been right about here. Now, of course, you can't see the X from here, but Kennedy's head is about 4 feet above the X. And Badge Man, actually, if you see him in the picture, it's from about here up, mid-chest up.
Right.
So he would have been standing on a bumper or something right back here. Up a little bit higher.
All right, so the fence is accurate, the height is accurate for the fence?
Right. And most of the witnesses who placed the shooter back here placed him here. They said there was a shooter here that would have stood in the storm drain and pulled a slat back and take a shot and do the headshot.
I see, right, So it's just stood out right here?
People said that you could escape through here, but that pipe is only about, 20 inches up here, but it looks like it, but it actually ends up in a 12-inch pipe down another sewer. So there's no way you're going to walk down through the sewers. Yeah, you had about 20 or 30 railroad workers up here.
Just standing here,
And 2 policemen.
Right.
White. Again, Tague was right below here, so you can see.
So Tague, so Tague was right.
James Tague was right below here. Stuck in traffic there on Commerce Street, so he just got out of his car and was standing right there. Could have been a shooter anywhere in this parking lot, any of these places there could have been a shooter.
Right, because I mean, this is a natural barrier to.
Back of the house opposite that bay window, and he was doing his taxes on April 10th, and he said he sat up or lifted his head up, and at that moment a shot came in and lodged itself across the room. Right at the back. There was a church here. The church was getting out on a Wednesday night prayer meeting, and there was a kid in the alley that said they saw 2 men get in the car and drive away, but they could have been confused with the church people. But Oswald supposedly, according to Marina later on, hid his rifle at that railroad crossing down there and hid it and came back for it 2 nights later. Held it under a raincoat on the bus.
Well, Marina is a fountain of truth, so.
Yeah, right. As we turn the corner and come on this side of it, you'll see a house over here, the red roof. And as you look past the air conditioner there, you'll see those 4 windows. That was Oswald's room.
God, somebody actually owns that now, obviously.
Same lady. Same family.
Is this Arlene Roberts?
No, that's Miss Johnston.
Mr. the owner. And that's Oswald's, Jesus, that's his bed, eh?
Yep.
Tiny.
Small room. And, you can see how close the bed is to the walls.
1026 North Beckley. And there's Oswald's room. That's it. Up and gone, never to return. Action.
Okay, stop.
Action.
I'm here in the Texas Theatre, and it's November the 22nd, 2008, the 45th anniversary of the assassination of JFK. This is quite a moment for me because this is the first time since coming to Dallas in the last 5 years that I've actually managed to come inside the theatre. And here I am. This is the actual seat where Lee Harvey Oswald sat and where he was arrested.
And you want to tell us what happened to Lee? Do you remember?
Well, I was at one of the police officers' houses the other day.
Yeah.
And we were talking with Captain Jerry Pollard, who was involved in the arrest of Oswald, and he recounted how he was involved with the arrest of Oswald, and during the scuffle of trying to restrain Oswald, nobody actually hit him in the eye, but in the scuffle to arrest him, he actually banged his head on the one of the chairs, and that is actually how he got his black eye.
Okay, well done, Francesca.